Today we're going to look at equations with fractions. So because a over b as a fraction is exactly the same as a divided by b, we can solve an equation with a fraction very easily. If we've got a fraction on one side of the equation, we can just multiply both sides by the denominator of the fraction, and that will remove it, because multiplying by b in this case, multiplying by b will allow the b to cancel out. So here, as an example, we've got q on 4 equals 12. The denominator here is 4, so if we multiply both sides by 4, it will be the equivalent of doing 4 divided by 4 on this side, and they'll cancel out. So we'll get q equals 48, because 12 times 4 is 48. We need to do the same operation to both sides to make sure that they are equivalent equations. So, a couple of examples here. If we look at the first example, 4x over 3 equals 8. The denominator in this case is 3. So if we multiply both sides by 3, then we will get, remove the 3 on this side as the denominator, and we're left with 8 times 3, which is 24 on this side. So we've got 4x equals 24. If we then divide both sides by 4, we will be able to get x, because 4x divided by 4 is x. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So we've got x equals 6. We can double check that by substituting x equals 6 back in up here. So 4 times 6 is 24. 24 divided by 3 equals 8. So we're all good. Here we've got 4y plus 15 over 9 equals 3. So the denominator in this case is 9. We do have a fraction on this side. So we can multiply both sides by 9, and we'll get rid of that 9, and we'll get 3 times 9 is 27 on this side. So we've got 4y plus 15 equals 27. So now we've got, we can remove this 15 by subtracting it away. So we can take 15 away from both sides, doing the same thing to both sides, so they're equivalent equations. Taking 15 away from both sides, we'll remove that 15, and 27 minus 15 is 12. So we're left with 4y equals 12. Then we can divide 4y by 4 to get y, and do the same thing to both sides. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. Once again, we can substitute y equals 3, which is the answer that we found, back into our original equation to see if we've got an equivalent equation. So y equals 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 15 is 27. So all of that on the top is 27. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So we're all good. Next example, 4 plus 5x over 2 equals 29. Now, we don't have a fraction just on one side. Here we've got a fraction and we've got an extra number as well. We can't automatically divide by the denominator here, because we don't have just a fraction on one side. So we can subtract 4 from both sides, so we do have a fraction just on both sides, or on one side. So subtracting 4 away from both sides, we'll get rid of this 4, and it will take away 4 from 29 to give 25. So we're left with 5x over 2 equals 25. Now we have an equivalent equation that has only, or just a fraction on one side. So now we can have a look. The denominator is 2, so let's multiply by 2 on both sides. Doing that to this will get rid of the 2 on the bottom, so we're left with 5x. Multiplying 2 on this side will yield 25. 25 times 2 is 50. Sorry, not 25, 50. So 25 times 2 is 50. So we've multiplied by 2 on both sides there. Now we've got left with 5x. We just want to get to x, get simpler and simpler as we go. So 5x divided by 5 will yield x. 50 divided by 5 is 10. Once again, we can double check. 10 into here. So 5 times 10 is 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. Okay, so we've got it right there. Here, for our last example, 7 minus 2x over 3 equals 5, okay? Once again, we've got an additional number out the front. We don't have just a fraction on one side. So we need to remove this 7. We can take 7 away from both sides to do that. So let's do that. Take 7 away from both sides, and that 7 will be removed. And 5 minus 7 is negative 2. So we've got negative 2x over 3 on this side. and negative 2 on this side of the equation. They're equivalent equations because we've taken 7 from both sides. Now, we do have a fraction on one side, so we can multiply both sides by the denominator, which is 3. So multiplying by 3, we get negative 2x, because we've still got that minus sign. Remember that the minus sign stays out the front of the term that it's with. So it's out the front of the term, so it's staying there, that minus sign. So we've got minus or negative 2x, they're the same thing. Minus 2x equals negative 6 by multiplying both sides by 3, because negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. We've got a negative multiplied by a positive, so it's going to be a negative. So we've got negative 2x equals negative 6 here. Now, if we divide both sides by negative 2, we will be able to get just x. So if we divide negative 2x by negative 2, we get x. If we divide negative 6 by negative 2, we get 3, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive.